All right. I think we should talk about this real quick. Welcome back to Superhero Speak. I am your host Dave, and this is a weekly rant. So the Acolyte premiered this week on Disney Plus. We got the first two episodes, and I want to give my initial reaction, and I want to talk a little bit about all of the reactions we're getting on the internet for this show. I'm not going to go too deep into the show itself because we're going to be talking about it this week on the podcast. In fact, it's going to probably be one of the main topics, so you're not going to want to miss that. But in the meantime, so the show premiered. We got the first two episodes, and the first thing I want to say is I don't want to judge it too deeply yet because we only got two episodes. We don't know where everything is going. That being said, this is not the worst thing I've ever seen related to Star Wars, and it's not the best thing I've ever seen related to Star Wars. And I think to be fair, like we can create a scale by saying the worst thing in by Star Wars, I'm going to say is The Rise of Skywalker. I know there are some people out there that are going to disagree with that, but when you're in the crawl and in the movie, your main drive for the forces or for the movie is somehow Palpatine returned. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Top tier, best. Some say Empire, some say Jedi. I've always been a fan of Jedi because that's where Luke comes into his own and becomes the real hero. So yeah, Return of the Jedi or Empire kind of tied for top spot. So there you go. There's your scale. Is it somewhere in between? Probably. Is it as is it the okay? It's good. That's all I can say. There are things about this show I really like. There are things about the show I'm concerned about. I don't hate it yet. I'm concerned about where they're going with it, and we'll have to see by the time we get to the end of the season where these things go. Things that I like, the fight scenes are excellent in this. The wire work is amazing. Feeling like they're samurai and ninja fighting is perfect. It's everything that I think George Lucas ever dreamed about for this this Star Wars itself. Like a lot of the stuff in the original movies, the inspiration for the look came from the samurai. So you have to like say this is now come full circle where we're seeing fight scenes that are amazing and it's really good. What else is really good? It feels like Star Wars, like right off the bat. It's a universe that feels lived in. Um, they're definitely using practical effects for a lot of things, which it's time that Star Wars got back to that because it gives a weight to things. Um, so Lee Jung Jae as Soul is amazing. I love his character so far. It's he's definitely got an emotional depth to his character. There's an emotional arc that he's going to go through in this show. You can see it coming. Um, yeah. So yeah, like so far, all of that stuff is great. The things that I don't like, okay, I'm going to be honest. The twin thing feels like an overused trope. It depends, but that's the whole thing is where I said it depends where they go with this and where the twin thing ends up at the end. The other thing that I'm a little hesitant about is this is another one of these. It feels like, again, it depends on where they go with this. This feels like another deconstruction thing that maybe the Jedi aren't the good guys. They kind of did that in the sequel trilogy, and it's one of the reasons a lot of people hate those movies. Let's be honest. They turned Luke into a cranky old man, um, who basically said the Jedi are bad because he tried to restart the Jedi Order on his own without any real guidance. So, and that somehow that made the Jedi bad. And I feel like, I don't know yet, but that feels like the tone they're setting up. And again, so it depends on where they go by the end of the season. So we'll have to see. And there you go. That's my initial reaction. It's not bad. It's got me hooked. I'm going to watch it every week. We'll see where this ends up. That being said, let's talk about what's going on the internet with this show. Let's start off with this. Okay, hold on. Let me bring it up so that I'm saying what the most accurate numbers are at this point. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, The Acolyte has a 92% critics score. And as of this recording, it's all the way down to a 28% audience score. And I'm having a hard time believing that. I'm having a really hard time believing that there are that many people who hate this show. And I think the average person is just watching it and not going on to Rotten Tomatoes. The average person doesn't go on to Rotten Tomatoes and rate a TV show. Let's be honest. This is a review bomb situation. And I'm going to say it. I've said this so many times on the podcast, and I mean it. Unfortunately, Star Wars has the most toxic fandom online of any nerd genre. They're the most toxic Star Wars fans live on the internet. They're constantly on the internet, and they are attacking the thing they claim to love over and over again. And I'm going to tell you what the problem is. It's going to be hard for some people to hear. Star Wars is and always has been a children's morality story. It's made for kids. The thing that really tells you that is the main thing that drove the movies were the toys. It's a kid's story. And the problem is that there are people my age, some younger, who grew up with these movies and expected things and that they didn't get. I remember when the prequels came out and everyone was so happy when the Phantom Menace came out. Oh my God, we're finally getting new Star Wars. George Lucas is back. He's making new Star Wars, and the Phantom Menace has issues. Is it the worst Star Wars movie? No. Looking back on some other things, it's not. But the biggest problem with the prequels is you're telling a story no one really needed to be told in 3 parts, and it's a movie. It was a series of movies that was going to end on a downbeat with Anakin becoming Darth Vader. But I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. The problem is the fans felt like they were owed something because they waited so long to get new Star Wars. And you had the really diehards that read the novelizations, which George Lucas has come out many times and said himself he never really planned to make any movies after Return of the Jedi, tell any stories after Return of the Jedi. That's why he told all these people they could just write these stories. And now they're officially not canon. When Disney bought them and said, okay, we're going to make movies after Return of the Jedi, it was like, okay, so all of these books, they're not canon, they don't count anymore. But there are all these people who love those books, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And they're pissed that they're not using those stories. So that's the first problem. The second problem is these people grew up and they wanted the movies to grow up with them. But they didn't, especially the prequels. Like Jar Jar Binks, love him or hate him as a character, he's there as comic relief for kids because these are kids' movies. Sorry, the one movie of all the Star Wars movies that you could say is not a kids movie. It's a mature look at the Star Wars universe. Is of course Rogue One, but it's a movie where everyone dies in the end. So is that what you want? You want your heroes to die? So that's problem number one, is that I don't know what people want out of Star Wars. Half the people want, but you know, it didn't grow up with you, so you're gonna have to deal with that. Issue two, um, is that there are all these people online that are complaining that Star Wars has gone woke. Star Wars has always been woke. What are you talking about? Um, Again, it's a morality tale of good and evil, light versus dark, and um, like, and be kind to everyone and all that stuff. Yeah, like, was it in your face? No, but I mean, Star Trek's definitely always been woke, but Star Wars has always had an underlying, you know, the good guys want to get along with everyone. So there's this group on the internet that they just don't like things. Some of the things that they've done. So no matter what Star Wars does at this point, they're going to attack it. They're going to hate it. These are the people that are writing these reviews. It doesn't matter. And case in point, there's a podcaster that I watch. He's a political podcaster. I 99% of the time trust his opinion, listen to him what he has to say. But when it comes to culture, Marvel and now Star Wars, he's a bloomin' idiot, and I can't stand the words coming out of his mouth, and I want to smack him. I've talked about him specifically on this channel. Of course, you can go back and in my past rants and see who I'm talking about. His name rhymes with uh, fool, sim fool, and he put out he's grifting. He put out a video talking about the Acolyte because, of course, it's the end thing this week. It's going to get you hits, and he's talking about how horrible and woke it is. Yet he had never watched it, and that's the kind of stuff that ticks me off. These people are just out to attack the woke companies, regardless of what they put out. And he's reading articles online from places like Bounding into Comics, who have an axe to grind with these kinds of companies, and he just reads these articles, a couple other sites like that, and then says, "Oh, it's just woke. It's horrible. Star Wars is dead." Star Wars isn't dead. You people need to shut up already. Like, you want it to be dead because you want to be right, but the problem is that Mandalorian. Everyone loves the Mandalorian. A lot of people loved Ahsoka. I personally did not watch Andor. Because I heard it was boring and it looked boring. Sorry. Um, and of course, now we've got the Acolyte, and it looks great. Like, Ahsoka was good. What was the other thing I was going to say? I mean, Book of Boba Fett. Okay, it was questionable. Yeah, we haven't got any new movies in a while, but the shows have been really good. We got and Obi-Wan. Like, was Obi-Wan great? No. Like, did it drag on a little bit? But an it finally gave us an epic Obi-Wan Darth Vader lightsaber battle that we really haven't had yet. I mean, we got it in Revenge of the Sith a little bit, but to have him as full Darth Vader and and Obi-Wan breaking the mask and seeing Anakin underneath, and it was just such an amazing scene. And we got it because it was a show on Disney Plus that was woke. Whatever. People don't know what you're talking about. Like, people are loving this stuff. I'm loving this stuff. My co-hosts are loving this stuff. This is good. So you're gonna have to get over yourselves because you're not gonna win. Like, the Acolyte is not terrible. It's actually pretty good. You're gonna review bomb it because you're hoping people are gonna look on Rotten Tomatoes and not watch it. People love Star Wars. Period. They're gonna go watch it. Your review bombs on people are not going on Rotten Tomatoes to go, ooh, what did people think of that Acolyte before I watch it? No. The people that love Star Wars are gonna tune in and watch it. And the only other thing I can say is the weirdest critique I've saw a couple people repeat this, and that's why it's weird, is the final critique I'm going to talk about is people were complaining it's too much like Star Wars. Oh, they're following all the same tropes, Jedi and this and that, and it's spaceships, and like they promised us something different. It's Star Wars. Like, yeah, there's the Jedi Council, like, and we're seeing what the Jedi did before the fall of the rise of the Empire and all that stuff. And yeah, like, so far it's not tied into Skywalker, but it's still Star Wars. When they say you were getting something different, what were you expecting? If you wanted something that didn't look or feel like Star Wars, then go watch something else. People that are complaining that it's too much like Star Wars are not Star Wars fans. So again, shut up. Us Star Wars fans, us true Star Wars fans, are going to watch this. All your complaints, all your review bombing, it's not going to work. Give it up. Give it up. And Shim Fool, stop it. If you're not going to watch this stuff, don't talk about it. And you're just grifting. You're just grifting for views. And it's stupid. It's below you. Well, seriously. And if you keep doing it, yeah, I'm going to start a campaign to get people to not watch you and make up stuff about you and put out fake articles and whatnot. Like, watch it and make up your own mind. Stop listening to people and go, oh, Star Wars is dead, Marvel's dead. You're an idiot. You're all idiots. It's not dead. So yeah, the Acolyte's going to be fine regardless of what you think. I'm going to watch it. I'm sure that my co-hosts are going to watch it. We're going to talk about it so much this week on the show on Sunday, so don't miss that. While you're here, I'm going to ask, please, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe, click the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our other great content coming out. And don't miss us when we go live on Sunday nights. Smash that like button because it really does help with the algorithm, helps to get this out there more. And yeah, that's all I got. Like, I like the Acolyte. I'm gonna Acolyte, and I'm gonna keep watching it um till it's over. I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I'm gonna reserve final judgment until I get there because I don't know everywhere it's going. I think I've got a couple ideas, but I'm not. I'm just enjoying the ride, and that's what this is about. And for you people review bombing again, I'm gonna say, just get over yourselves. Like, the true Star Wars fans are going to watch this. You're not going to win. So until next time, as always, thanks for watching, and don't let your cape get caught in the door. See you next time.